Hey guys, it's Sarah and I am so sorry about this lighting, but I can't do anything about it. I am going to do a review today and I'm also going to do a tag video. I finished a book that's right behind me that I'm totally cheating and giving you like a little sneak peek of what I'm doing today. I finished Don't Look Back about a day ago. I finished it yesterday, last night, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I was reading it with someone and I finished it really quickly and I thought I would just tell you really quickly my thoughts about it. So this is, of course, Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Is a YA mystery, murder mystery, not really a crime novel, just mostly a murder mystery, and it's about this girl named Sammy, and she loses all of her memory of this horrible thing that happened and no one knows what happened. She just shows up on the side of the road and she's really battered, and they take her, the police find her and take her to the hospital, and they find her out who she is because she has no clue who she is, and the girl that she went missing with is still missing and no one knows what's happened to her or what's going on with her, and so Sammy kind of wants to figure it out, but she doesn't remember anything, so it's, you know, one of those stories. You've read them before, I'm sure you have. Maybe not a murder mystery, but that's kind of what this book's about. It was really good. It's definitely YA, but it does have a little bit, not really mature content, but there are a little more mature themes. So if you're in the younger YA age, I don't know if I'd recommend you read this. No, I would definitely recommend it. I'm just saying, be wary. Don't think that it's like, you know, I know it's by Hyperion, Disney Hyperion, but it's definitely not childish in any way. What to say. So I really liked the characters in the story. I think that's what drove the story for me. I have to sneeze. I have to sneeze. Oh my god, it's been such a long day. I don't even know okay. Okay, I really like the characters in this story, and I didn't have my problems with any of the characters, not at least the ones that I wasn't supposed to have problems with. I'm putting it down because that's really a heavy book. It's really well made. The pages are like cardstock, I'm not kidding. They're really, I can't even think. That's a it's a really well made book. This is gonna be, I can already tell this is gonna be a fun video to edit. Yeah, I really liked the characters. The main character didn't annoy me at all. She fully delivered in what I expected in a Jennifer L. Armentrout book. I love Jennifer L. Armentrout. JLA. I really like I really like her stories. She always features really strong female characters, and even if they don't start out strong, they always by the end become strong, and I really appreciate that. Also, I really like that her characters can fall in love. They can be independent, but at the same time be dependent, and I really appreciate that, because you either have one or the other. Either they're dependent or they're so independent that the romance is, you know, not even prevalent at all in the story. So I really enjoyed that. Speaking of the romance in the story, the guy character, like the main guy character, is probably one of my favorites of Jennifer L. Armentrout's guys. I like him under Damon. Damon's always number one. He's always going to be number one. He's going to stay number one. He's from the Lux series, if you don't know. But Carson is probably my number two, because I don't really care for Aiden, and Cam was okay, and Jace was alright, but I really like Carson better than any of those characters. So he stuck by the main character through everything. He was just really nice, and even though they didn't have the greatest of history, he didn't put that against her. He was always very supportive, and I really appreciated that. I've heard a lot of people say this, mostly me and Lindsay. I don't know if you know, but I read this. I don't know if you know because you're my best friend. You know, I don't know if you know, but me and Lindsay read this together, and I'll link her channel down below. I mentioned her in my book haul. She's really awesome, and if you could check her out, it'd mean a lot to me. But we read this book together and we really enjoyed it, but we also had our problems with it, and we talked a lot about our problems, and so I wanted to touch more on the things that I liked, because I've not talked about that too much. But all the things I didn't like stemmed from the development of the story. Mostly that things weren't as resolved as I hoped they would have been, and that things didn't necessarily come to a close. There was more just, I don't know, that was the same sentence twice in a row, but everything that I wanted to be resolved, like the main plot point, was resolved. The other little plot points that we have wasn't resolved, and that just kind of bothered me, but not too much. Not in the sense that I didn't like the story, just in the sense that it was, you know, annoying. Other than that, there's a few things that I can't say that I disliked because it'll be a spoiler, or it could be a spoiler, or I don't want it to be a spoiler at all. So I'm not going to tell you, but there are a few little things that I disliked about it, or just things that didn't match up in my head. I did see a lot of connections between this and other stories that I've read like this, a lot of tropes. There's a lot of similarities between this book and other books or movies that I've seen that have, you know, where the girl loses her memory and she's a bad person and she wants to be a better person, or, you know, just that topic in general is really, it's kind of like a starting point, and however, if you do it the same, it can be an okay book, but if you do it differently, it can be a really good book. And Jennifer Armentrout took the really good book side of that. She did a really good job at not making it too similar. There's a lot of connections, and I know through her writing there's always connections between her books and maybe things that she's watched. Supernatural is really big in her books. You always find some sort of nod to supernatural in her stories. There's always something, like in Don't Look Back, there was the character with the last name Winchester, and so I always find those because I'm such a big Supernatural fan. I found like references towards Mean Girls. I also found references towards other movies that I've seen, but I'm always looking for those things, so I don't know if that's just me. Didn't at all, ever, never with her does it ever hinder my experience with reading. I always enjoy it, and I always love those references because it's just a fun thing to find and like make those connections. Anyways, I'm like over talking this. Overall, I really like this story. I think I gave it a solid 4 stars on Goodreads, and it could be a 4.5 stars, but it's not up there with a 5-star, and it's not totally a 4-star rating. It's just in between those kind of middle ground between 4.5 and 4 stars. So, and I'm not gonna give it like a 4.2 star, you know, that's just way too confusing in my head because I cannot ever remember that. So I'm just gonna give it a solid 4 stars. Really good. If you like any type of Jennifer Armentrout's books, I highly recommend this because it reads just like one of hers, but also it's different. So it's a different experience. It's just like if you read her young adult paranormal and then try to go to her new adult romance, it's just very different, and it reads different, but it still feels the same. If you've read any of books by her and you enjoyed them, I highly recommend you check this out. And if you like murder mysteries in the YA genre, I highly recommend you check this out too because it was really good. I'm assuming that this is what it kind of read like what I pictured in my head as Mara Dyer, the Unbecoming, no, the Evolution, yeah, the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This is kind of how I picture that in my head, but just a more condensed, simpler version because I've heard that book is really confusing and like really crazy. So this one is not that confusing, not that crazy, but I think it reads similar. So if you like that book, probably check this out if you're like dying for more of those types of stories. But anyways, I think that's all I want to say about this book. It was really good. I highly recommend you check it out if you are into it. I know a lot of people have checked it out already. You've probably heard it a lot, but I just thought I'd put my 2 cents into it. And yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day. And if you have any comments or questions, or if you agree or disagree with anything that I say, let me know down in the comments because I'll gladly talk to you, gladly reply. I just want to talk to you. Just let me know down below, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and let me know if you plan on picking this book up because I really want to know who is reading it and who decided that they didn't want to read it. So let me know down below if you just were like, no, that's not up my alley, because I'll probably change your mind. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye!